You know, I have to be honest. I'm not going to say that I love this episode, but for whatever reason, this week's Chucky was much more tolerable. Regardless of my feelings about the series overall, Brad Dourif is a legend, and he deserves his flowers. I just wish Don Mancini gave him better material to work with. Because most times, this version of Chucky feels underutilized and like a parody of what he once was. But I did appreciate the fact that Brad Dourif was placed front and center and featured heavily in the latest episode. Don't switch up now, man baby. You aren't fooling anybody. You're just setting up a future excuse so you can tell people later on that you weren't always so hard on this show. I literally can't win. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
So while searching for Chucky-related reactions on X, I came across this post from Black Nezzy, who said, quote, "Our new Core 4. I like them lined up like this." So I guess the Core 4 concept is a new trend started by that abomination of a film, Scream 6, that now apparently every fandom in horror is going to run with. Great. I have an idea. Let's not always try to make inferior new characters into something they are not. By forcing them down people's throats and to the point they get annoying? Is that too much to ask? How about you let people enjoy things and stop being so negative? If you don't like it, don't watch it. If I had $1 for every time someone has said that to me recently, or is going to say that to me in the future, I could probably quit YouTube. You should anyway. Your channel is a flop. You can't even get half your subscribers to watch your videos. That's not really how YouTube works, but let's move on. So this episode begins with one Charles Lee Ray going to meet Damballa, I guess, for judgment. I don't really know, the rules weren't really made all that clear to me, but that appears to be what's happening. Damballa has taken the form of a Chucky doll, mostly because Charles is considered a narcissist. To me, this actually produced one of the more decent moments in the entire series, because we get Brad Dourif on screen as an actor, having a face-to-face confrontation with a Chucky doll. The dialogue is still pretty cringe, and Brad Dourif is definitely hamming it up a little bit, but it was a nice little moment that I think most Chucky fans would enjoy. Wow, was that a sliver of positivity? That must have been painful for someone like you. More than you know. Anyway, Chucky has to kill as a ghost to impress Damballa, and there's a slight chance that he might be allowed to go back. I don't know why, other than reasons, but apparently Chucky didn't do enough killing in Damballa's name when he was alive, so it's safe to say that Damballa is one strict voodoo god. This episode continued the odd trend of forcing the most random pop culture references into where they do not belong. It's happened a lot over the years in this show, but this week we got references to everything from Shark Week to Taylor Swift. Just when I thought I haven't heard Taylor Swift's name enough in my everyday life, Don Mancini comes along to beat me over the head with it some more. I won't be tolerating any Taylor Swift slander over here. I'm a Swiftie from way back, and you're probably just jealous of another strong and talented woman being successful. She's not strong enough to hold on to a boyfriend, it seems, but I digress. So Price sets up this scenario where they're going to tell the American people that the president has brain cancer. And this is going to be their way of covering up the fact that he's already been murdered. Of course, this means the president's body double has to die as well, because if we know anything about the federal government, they don't like to leave loose ends.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
So for what seems like the 100th time in this show, another Devon Sawa character has been murdered. It seems like at this point that his gimmick isn't so much playing different characters, but finding different ways to be killed. Do you have to complain about everything? It's a show about a serial killer. What did you expect exactly? A teen drama with a love story? Wait. You said it, not me. This episode also features a lot of Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany, as she's getting ready to escape prison before her execution. Her plans kind of fall apart, however, when her main ally, a crooked security guard, randomly gets hit by a car. So it doesn't really look like the whole voodoo doll plan is going to work out. In case you were all wondering, yes, Jennifer Tilly's breasts are still her most interesting quality.
Tits. Whew.
And yes, Jennifer Tilly is still giving one of the most over-the-top performances I've ever seen. Overacting that makes your average Nickelodeon star look like Marlon Brando. Are you incapable of having fun? She's supposed to be over the top. That's the tone of the show. Why are you so media illiterate? Sorry for having standards, but anyway. Eventually, we have a seance in the Oval Office led by quirky character number 87, Timothy, a psychic that they brought in to deal with this ghost situation. During the seance, Chucky taunts everyone, it eventually starts raining blood, and a few people die, including the new president. But somehow this leads to Jake coming up with the brilliant idea that he needs to die on purpose so he can go to the spirit world. While there, he will ask Chucky where Caroline is, and somehow get Chucky to sacrifice himself so he can cross over. He's going to do so by playing up to Chucky's good side, which we've already seen them toy with a little bit in Season 2. One problem there, Jake, have we not learned anything from past experiences? How did working with good Chucky turn out for you and the people around you last time?
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
A lot of people died, but let's face it, a lot of people have died thanks to Jake's moronic decisions. So in that aspect, I guess this is just another day at the office for him. Jake is easily the best thing about this show, and yet you still continue to criticize him. I think we all know the real reason you don't like Jake, don't we? Oh my god, I'm not doing this with you again. This episode leads with Jake and Tiffany getting their lethal injections simultaneously, giggity, which will, I assume, lead to both of them encountering Chucky in the spirit world. I have to be honest, the whole spirit world thing feels very familiar. You know, like it was ripped straight out of every demon possession or ghost story ever? I admire the attempt to try something a little bit different with Chucky, but this whole concept feels very out of place for a Chucky story in my opinion. And again, like they are trying to turn his story into something that it's not. Either way, next week is the season finale, so we can all be thankful for that. Not all of us. How can you be so dismissive after such a powerful episode? You are hating just to hate at this point. Long live Jake. Long live Tiffany. Yes, queens!
Y'all be cool. Right on.